If you want to make a better RTS, there's one piece of advice that sounds almost impossible to argue with. Ask RTS players what they want. They're the ones playing the game. They know what annoys them. They know what they enjoy. So obviously you should listen to them. I think this is one of the reasons RTS games keep having the same problems. Take the deathball. Players have complained about deathball forever. You build an army, your opponent builds an army. Eventually, the rational thing for both of you is to put as much military power as possible in one place and then smash the two blobs together. So we ask players what would make that better, and they give us perfectly reasonable answers. Maybe units should have stronger counters. Maybe area of effect weapons should punish clustering. Maybe there should be command limits. Maybe movement should be harder. And now we're designing solutions. Except we skipped a question. Why is the deathball the correct strategy in the first place? Imagine a real army doing this. Take every soldier you have, every vehicle, every gun, send all of it as far into enemy territory as possible. What happens? You create a logistics catastrophe because armies consume things: fuel, ammunition, food, spare parts. Moving more combat power further away doesn't just make an army stronger, it makes the problem of supporting that army larger. But in most RTS games, none of that exists. A tank can cross the entire map and just keep firing forever. So, of course, concentration of force wins. The game has removed most of the reasons it wouldn't. And now we're asking players to fix the behavior created by that assumption. That's the trap. Players experience the system from inside it. They can tell you, this sucks, and they're usually right. But when you ask them what they want instead, the answers tend to stay inside the same system. Because why wouldn't they? You're effectively asking someone to redesign a room while they're standing inside it. They'll move the furniture. They probably won't ask why the wall is there to begin with. And I think RTS development does this constantly. Not because developers are stupid, not because the players are stupid, but because customer feedback is incredibly good at optimizing things that already exist. And optimization has a direction. It takes you toward a better version of something familiar. Sometimes that's exactly what you need, but it can't tell you whether the familiar thing should exist at all. So, I've started becoming suspicious whenever a design problem produces a long list of proposed mechanics. Because sometimes the mechanic isn't the problem. Sometimes the problem is the assumption underneath it. The deathball isn't necessarily solved by inventing better anti-deathball mechanics. Maybe you ask why armies can operate indefinitely without supply, and suddenly you're not fixing the deathball anymore. You're changing the condition that created it. That's a very different way to design a game. And it's why I don't particularly care what RTS players say they want. I care enormously about what they hate, because buried inside that frustration might be something much more useful than a feature request. It might be an assumption that nobody has questioned yet.